Hi, I'm JKJ. Just dropped that EST91 on all platforms, and you're watching Dingo Talk.
You wanna know by now. You wanna know by now. You wanna know by now. You wanna know. You wanna know.
What's going on, Chuckleheads? I am Carlo Guadagnino. This is Dingo Talk. My guest, JKJ out of Pittsburgh, just dropped the EST91, can be found on all platforms. JKJ, thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, very, very close ties to the Pittsburgh community. We're going to jump right into it. Your senior year, you're at Serra Catholic. You played football there. Kind of walk us through, were you involved in music then?
Yeah, so what actually occurred, I went to McKeesport my whole life for real. And then junior year I transferred to Sarah right after they had went to the state championship, like a semester after I was sick. But I ended up getting up there, and I had been making music since probably about seventh grade. So like I had took a little break because I was going to Sarah, and I was like, ain't nobody going, be rabbit me like back in 8 Mile talking about he went to private school. So you know what I'm saying? I had chilled out for real and just to focus on school and trying to get to college and all that.
So
But
then when you get through your senior year, because you end up going to Seton Hill for a couple years, what made that decision? Why was it Seton Hill? Because there's a lot of schools, colleges wise, in that area where you are.
yeah, like well really with Seton Hill what it was I was going to Sarah, like I said, and Seton Hill gave you like a little scholarship or something like if you went to a Catholic high school. So I was like, okay, plus I wanted to play football and they had just started their program maybe a couple years before I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I could walk on if I want to up there and try to still continue to play and all that. So I ended up going up to Greensburg.
Now, what was your college experience like? Would you go to school for? What were you going to study? And did you end up trying to walk on?
Well, so I went up there for sports management because like I have a strong love for football and sports in general. I didn't end up finishing. I was there for 3 years, and I had walked on to the football team. I didn't play first semester because I wanted to see how college went first. And then I joined in the spring and I worked out, but I never got clear with my physical. So I helped out with the team for probably about almost a year. Well, not even a year, I'll say, into the fall. But after that, I was like so full focused on my music, it was like, all right, I'm over all that.
And does the music play into why you kind of walked away from school? It just was time that you figured out this is what I want to do. And
Partially, I mean, like with me, I was always an honor student. I mean, like always into academics. So once I got to school and it really wasn't what I thought it was going to be, um, I found that I was more passionate about the music and like I felt like I could do a little more with that. So it definitely played a part into me leaving, but you know what I'm saying, it wasn't like the main part for it.
so you walk away from college. You're now going to do the music full time.
Mhm.
What was your first step after walking away? When do you link up with Palermo and the Rare Nation guys? How do we get to that point?
Well, I actually met Palermo during my college days. So the funny thing is, me and Palermo, we from the same city, McKeesport, PA. You know what I'm saying, we both from the same projects, Prophet Village. So I probably played with bro when I was younger, but growing up, you forget faces and all that. And he had moved away to Bread Up. So I ended up moving. I mean, I ended up meeting him again probably in when I was in college, my sophomore year of college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was sophomore year because we had a mutual friend who was my roommate at the time, and he was like, "My boy raps. You should do a song with him since you just starting up." And Palermo came up to the dorm. We was in Deshaun Hall up there at Seton Hill, and came in there and he was supposed to just do a verse for me. We was just on like doing a feature, and he heard me and he was like, "I think you got something here." And like from then on, he just was always around. And this is way before he started Rare,
Mm-hmm.
way before any of that. And then when he ended up starting Rare, he had always told me like, "Hey," because I was with another squad, Wonder Hits. Shout out to the Wonder Hits. You know what I mean? I was with them at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I know you with a team, but if you ever decide to leave them, you know there's always a home for you at R.A.R.E." And it was like, you know who actually convinced me to join R.A.R.E. is Ads. Yes, sir. R.I.P. my boy Ads.
And
That's the one who convinced me, because we used to just have talks on his porch stuff and all that, bro. And he would be like, "Man," he said, "bro," he was like, "you're like one of my favorite, like not even like to lie, but like you're one of my favorites, bro. And I just feel like if you would join with the squad, we'd be like so much harder all together." Like, and we used to have them talks tons of times. And then finally I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm down with the squad."
well, so how do you end up? Is Ads only? Do you only meet Ads through R.A.R.E., or did you guys kind of come across each other and have a and what? I got another question to follow, but so you guys met through R.A.R.E.
Yeah, I met Ads up at the house in Mount Washington on Roof Street. And this is before like I said, this is still before R.A.R.E. days, all of that. And he was just up there. He was at the I think I met him the day we did the Top of the World video shoot.
Okay.
And he Tip was telling me about him. He was like, "This kid's hard." He was like, he could flow with the double time flow real crazy. He was like, "Bro, just like," he said, "he's serious. He walked all the way up here from down at Point Park up to the mountain to come kick it." So, and me and Ed just like, we just clicked right off top. So that was always, bro, for real.
So let's talk more about the what's the day-to-day life like for you on when you're at that point, when you're starting up and you're because you had already done music, you just kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit. What is it like in that grind?
Man, it's really like, see, with me, my work ethic is a little different. So like, I just want to create, create, create. So like, I used to have problems being in groups and stuff because like, not everybody works as fast, not everybody's like as dedicated or whatever it may be. So I used to go, bro, like when I was in college, I used to go wake my man TJ up. Shout out to my man T Groove. That was like my first real like little engineer. And I used to go wake him up out of his dorm. You could ask, like his roommates used to be like, "Damn, bro, he's at the door again." And I'd be coming in there, knocking, turning the lights on, like, "Bro, we gotta work, we gotta work." So every day I was just in there like trying to write, trying to create songs, trying to get other people who might have a little interest in music to do something so that I ain't alone in it and all that.
Mhm.
So like it was just a lot of self grinding and working. And like it's funny because like from those days back in college, us not knowing at the time, like we helped get so many other people started in their love for music and actually starting to like pursue themselves as an artist and all that. But like it's wild to see the impact now.
Well, and does that go into being a musician? Is that if you can pass that love to music on to someone else in any way, it might be just that they're a fan, they might be somebody that wants to get in. Is that kind of, and the obviously the goal is to be successful with music, but it's also to get a
Mm-hmm.
message across. If I'm not right, I mean that's the whole point is you're telling your story.
That's always what it's been about for me, man. Because like I've always like me being a listener first. I was always interested in artists who could make me feel something and make me like interested in wanting to know their backstory or wanting to know deeper things behind this or I mean make me think a little bit, anything like that. So like I feel like music's such a powerful thing that you like. I don't know. It's like a crazy gift to share with other people, and like when you get a chance to, it really is something special.
So fast forward to now, R.A.R.E. is a thing. R.A.R.E. has
Mm.
has made its move, and I kind of want to ask early on here, what's the competitiveness like in the Pittsburgh hip hop scene and rap scene? Because there's a lot of artists. There's a lot
Yeah.
of really good underground artists. There's a lot of artists that are starting to make noise. What's that chemistry like with everybody else going around?
See, with the Pittsburgh hip hop scene, in some areas it's together, in some areas it's not, and there's a lot of separation.
Okay.
So like we have a lot of things, like especially back in those days, it was more so like the how do I want to say it? The like the boom bap crowd, like BD, B White, all of them.
Mhm.
So like those were the ones that were huge around like the time that I was coming into. But then it was transitioning into all of the street rap and like gang rap and all kind of stuff like that. So it kind of separated the scene a little bit because it was like the street rap feel too cool to be hanging around with the boom bap, and the boom bappers may not feel safe being around all the street rappers and things of that nature. So stuff was so separated, and like it's crazy because now like the street rap is kind of taking over like tenfold.
Mhm.
So like it's the boom bappers who are kind of the outcasts and all that now. But like I never really considered myself in either of those. Like I always just felt like I just made the music that came to me, and I don't try to like sit in one crowd because then you kind of put yourself into a box. And that's what a lot of people I feel like end up doing. Um and like as far as like artists working together, like I feel like at times we haven't had a lot of issues working with together. Like I feel like I've worked with a lot of and been around just even just in sessions with people, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? But I do see it where some artists who get to maybe a certain stature or level in the city, it may sometimes come off as they like don't work with anybody or they're real like uppity about who they work with to
Yeah.
some people. But like I don't know, I feel like that just comes with it.
So we're gonna roll into your connection down here in a little corner in Brooke County, West Virginia. You guys all came down. You did a show. You came down a couple times. Did one show down
Uh-huh.
here. Can we talk about what went into that and what your experience was like? What did you feel like about being here in the corner of the woods?
Man, we had fun. I think Bethany was some of our most fun shows for real. Like we had fun at the time. I had a couple friends from home who was going to school down there, like my boy Moody and B Hill and all them. So yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun for us coming down. Like I feel like that one show, the one that we actually did, we actually came down there a couple times, but I want to say the last time we were down there, I wasn't performing. It was for R.A.R.E show when he opened with
Mhm.
MGK. Um, but the time before that, when we all performed, first of all, I was drunk as hell. Because we used to go back and watch film stuff. Like I mean, film from the shows, like it was game tape.
Yeah.
And man, there's a clip where I was about to trip over the little mic wire and everything. I was twisted. But Bethany showed us a good time, man. We had a good
Well,
time. Like I liked it.
and you bring up the fact that not only did you guys came down and performed, but as the group when Rome opened for MGK, I mean that was huge as a group level because you guys were there for him, but he's
Yeah,
also part of the group.
yeah, and that was like his first show for real. It was crazy. Like just getting even to see that. Like we got kind of like I mean, we weren't the main act, so we didn't get the main act treatment. But we got like I mean, a little bit of VIP treatment. We had the little backstage, and they treated us well. We went back to the frat house and all that, so it was a good time.
Well, so we've come to that point. I'm going to take a break right here. We'll send it to another place in Bethany, Chambers General Store, Harry Chambers. You can get a shirt there. It says, if Chambers doesn't have it, you don't need it. It's factual. You can get a breakfast sandwich, and then you can get a hammer for whatever your project is for that day. And he's never had a toilet paper shortage. This guy's got the individual wrapped like toilet papers that you can go and get. So everything that you can think of, they got daily lunch specials, soups. First Friday of every month is fish. And it's an old time general store. So if you're ever in Bethany, make sure you stop down there. But I am Carlo Guadagnino. This is JKJ. You're watching and listening to Dingo Talk, and we'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
You're watching another exciting episode of Dingo Talk, recorded deep in the Hidden Lair in Bethany, West Virginia. Or when you visit, make sure you stop by Chambers General Store. Grab one of our hot breakfast sandwiches made fresh all day. Don't forget the biscuits and gravy or one of the daily lunch specials. And if none of that trips your trigger, cold cut subs, sandwiches, and wraps made fresh all day to your order. Hey, and don't be the only alumni on the block that doesn't have the Chambers. If we don't have it, you don't need it t-shirt or the latest edition of the Bethany, West Virginia shroom capital of the world in the psychedelic green. Hey, now back to you, Carlo.
What's going on, Chuckleheads? I am Carlo Guadagnino. This is Dingo Talk. My guest, JKJ. Again, his album, EST 91, just dropped on all platforms. Make sure you get to it right now. Jordan, if I can call you that. I know JKJ, but I'm a Jordan.
Yeah, we go back.
Let's talk about, so there are some big names that have made it out of the city of Pittsburgh in the industry. What has your interactions been with, Wiz, Mac, G Herbo? Was there anything there?
So really, like, I got to be around Wiz a couple times. Fortunately, his bodyguard actually was at the Nipsey Hussle show that me and Palermo opened for. And it was funny because I'm coming off stage, and as I'm like reading my tweets and all that, I see the tweet that was like, JKJ from McKeesport is hard. So somebody screenshotted it and sent it to me as I'm reading it, and they're like, yo, Wiz's bodyguard just tweeted this. As I'm reading it, bro, I look up, and there's this big dude in front of me, and I'm like, he like, you JKJ? I'm like, yeah. And ended up being Big Breeze with his bodyguard. And he was like, I fuck with your performance. I like that. So like he ended up staying in contact, came out, met me for a CD and everything. And he just used to throw little opportunities. Like whenever Wiz came to shoot the Still Down video in Hazelwood, Breeze texted me and was like, hey bro, meet me in Hazelwood, come out there for this video shoot. So I ended up being in that. And then Mac, with the Mac situation, my first show I ever did, I opened for Mac out in Uniontown.
Mm-hmm.
So we were backstage with them. I had met them, but I had met him previously because Palermo used to be his hype man before, like as he was blowing up. And he ended up taking me to the Knock Knock video shoot. So I was in that as well. So like I had been on like MTV and VTJs without it even being my videos. Just like, and it's quick little clips. If you ever get a chance, I mean, I'm noticeable, but not crazy noticeable. But but it was just cool little experiences like that. Like I've been in the studio whenever at the old ID labs when Mac was playing like unreleased joints and all that. And so I got a chance to be around some people who had already like really had success with it. Not like the closest, but like, you know what I mean? It helped for the experience. And
it seems from that right there that they are more, they look for that. Like they're going to give you that help, like for the videos and stuff. If you're around, they'll put you in the video. You know what I mean? Like it's not it doesn't seem like that the ego got ridiculously large.
Yeah, I mean, like they used to, they were good at like trying to give boys at least opportunity to be seen. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny from doing that little stuff. Like people be like, "You was in the Mac video. When are you gonna do a song with Mac?" And I used to try to explain to people, just because I was in it, don't mean I'm about to do no kind of music. It was just the opportunity to be there. You know what I'm saying? To be around. Because you got to be in rooms like that, like the network and crowd.
So you've also been, I mean, obviously you're located in McKeesport, but you've done a little traveling here in the last couple of years. I mean, COVID kind of threw a wrench into the traveling aspect of it.
Yeah.
You spent some time in Cali, you spent some time in other places. What were those experiences like?
Man, listen, I go to Cali every year. Like I started going probably about 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? I go every year, usually around my birthday, but just to go out there, get catch a vibe, you know what I mean, go to the studio, just get the little different experience than just being here in dreary Pittsburgh. So but every time I go out there, like it's a better experience. Like I love it out there. I get to go to the different studios, walk down Hollywood Boulevard smoking my J Unbothered, you know what I mean, things like that. So it's always a good time. Like I done been there. We opened for Riff Raff in Indianapolis. Yeah. Indianapolis. That was a crazy time. You know what I mean? I performed in Orlando and all kind of different places. So like it's been a crazy experience. Like we did a little mini tour.
Mhm.
We performed out in Philadelphia. I don't know if you remember the band that Making the Band series Diddy did. They had the band. Um, I met Enes out there. Enes like Trey gave me his number and was talking to me, telling me I was hard and all that. So I mean, it's taken me a lot of places for real, for real.
So what, take us through prep for a show. What's a day, like you're going on that night, what's a day like for you?
Well, for me, before a show, normally, I'm usually just about getting into my comfort zone. Like, I mean, I get my little medication on, my smoke, and then maybe have a shot or two. But I'm kind of coming out of that a little bit more, so just getting my mind right instead. It really just it's almost like pregame for a football game. You know what I mean? Like, if you're an ex-athlete, you kind of understand just like getting your headphones on, getting in the right mind state, playing the right music, getting yourself together and prepared for like to play your game to give a good show. Like I've always been big on live shows. Like if anybody who's gotten a chance to see me, normally they'll tell you like I'm a great live performer. So like that's always been something I focused on because it's all about energy. Like I used to joke like, oh, I'm a big dude. I won't be jumping around and all that when I perform. I be jumping around and moving around and getting all kind of stuff going just because like it's about giving people the experience, you know what I'm saying? Above just like them hearing you and all that. They like if you can make people feel you, then you got them. So I mean that's always what I try to do with it.
So, and maybe this might be controversial, but so who does JKJ listen to?
For me, I listen to a lot of Wayne, Big Crit, let me see, 50 Cent, DMX and Eminem are my top two favorites. And then like I'm really not one of them older people who's like I hate all younger music. So like I found younger artists that I like and all that. So like I listen to Young Boy. I understand why people like certain stuff. So like I listen to Young Boy, like I listen to ESTG, G Herbo, I like a lot of stuff. Like I have a vast array for real, but like I really predominantly just listen to rap. I'm not like huge on other like I like other music, but like my mode 90% of the time is rap music. So that's pretty much all I'm listening to. And I really listen to a lot of local music more than anything.
Now, what goes into, so you sit down and you're gonna put together the album, right?
Yeah.
What went into the song selections, the order? Is there a way that the order goes that's specific? Like, how do you go
Yeah.
about that process?
See, for me, so what I've done, because before, like I said, with me putting out so much music, it used to just be like record a whole bunch. All right, I'm tired of this, and throw it out. But I've always taken pride in how I structure my project. So, like for me, a lot of it comes down to number one, does this song topic kind of make sense going after this, or like it'll be I listen to the beginning and the end of the beats to see how much this kind of flows into that and if it goes well into that
Mhm.
because like you don't want like 17 love songs and then a banger and then like some depressed shit and then all the rest of the bangers at the end. Like you really gotta like properly map it out. So I usually kind of put a lot of thought process into that when it comes to like track listing.
And how long of a process is it for you? Because you do put out a lot of music. When does a project start, and when does like is there a timeline, or is it when you feel that this is it, this is the way I want it to be, and that's when it goes? Is there a mental clock and a day on the calendar?
Not really a date on the calendar. What I normally will do is once I feel like if I have 15, 16 songs recorded and I'm like, all right, if I don't start trying to plan a project, then this project's gonna be 30 songs long. I need to go ahead and cut myself down. So like I'll do that. Or like occasionally like I'll have like an idea where I want to do 10, 12 tracks and I might be on track 8 And if I'm over 50% done with it, then I'll be like, all right, well, I can pick kind of a date now. That way I put some pressure on myself to make sure I get the stuff done that I want done for when it's time to put it out.
And how long, I guess we're working backwards in this process as these questions come, but so how long does it normally take you from like the idea of the song to actually recording the songs?
Really all depends on when I can get in the studio. Cause like, I mean, sometimes I'll get a pack of beats and I'll sit here and for a night, I'll just write 4, 5, 6 songs. And then sometimes it's like, hey, we're in the studio and here's this beat. And what are you gonna do with it now? I got 2 hours of a session. I know I don't want to spend 2 hours on a song. So I go straight into working mode. Usually takes me about, I say for a whole song, 20 minutes to half an hour for me.
Okay.
And then getting it recorded and all that, probably another half an hour, 45 minutes while they mix and master everything.
So for somebody that's coming up, you got a young kid, maybe a senior in high school, might be younger than that, might be older than that. Somebody that's trying to get into the industry. Does it just have to be music, or are there so many other avenues for people to get in?
There's a ton of different avenues. Like, I wish everybody didn't want to be a rapper because we need people to do other stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need graphic designers, you need cameramen, video people, you need business savvy people who just want to run the business. And that's really probably the hardest thing for me as an artist that it's been is like trying to find some people who are like dedicated and really like want to work and don't want to be the spotlight people. Like everybody wants to be the star, but it's really about the people behind the star to make it move. So like, I mean, if anything, I'd tell people go learn the business and be a manager and or this and that, so that way like you can be the team to help push that artist because there's a ton of talented artists out here who just don't have the help.
Yeah.
I mean, and if they had the help, all the people who say they want to see you make it, if instead of them just saying they want to see you make it, they started trying to play a vital part in that, things would move a lot quicker.
So let's talk about EST 91. How does that project come about?
So that came about me. I just started really recording last year, and I decided I put a project out early last year, and I said instead of me rushing to put another project out, I'm just gonna take all year, record these songs, go over them, figure out what I like and don't like, and really just put some time into the process. So I did, and then the name actually came probably, I want to say 2 weeks before the project dropped. So like I didn't have like a name, and it's funny because I come up with all of my project names while smoking on the porch, on some porch. Doesn't matter if it's my porch, friend's porch, but somebody's porch. I come up with is funny as hell. But I ended up getting a couple gems together, and then the last couple gems, like Goat, that one is kind of special for me, as well as I say. Go Live, because those kind of actually have crazy like family backstories to it. Like everybody on GOAT is actually family. We all related on that joint, so it was wild. And we're all like different considered top tier artists from our area in different age brackets. So it was something really cool to do from like my section of the city and all that.
Yeah.
And then with Go Live, that's actually like my little brother on there. So like I've been trying to encourage him like more and more. He's been on a couple of different people's projects, but like he hasn't put his own out. And I'm really trying to get him in the mode because he's hard. Like his verse on there is crazy, like all of that. So this project I actually got to do a lot more personal stuff on, just connection wise and all that.
So what's next for Jordan? Where are we going to be seeing you? What is there another project already in the works? I don't want to rush you, but I know that I guarantee you there's already an album ready to go. It's just not ready to go. So what's next for Jordan?
Yeah, man, I actually was texting my producer earlier today, and we about to start planning and plotting for the next one while we're pushing this one. So never not working, man. But really just trying to push this tape to where I can get it to go the furthest. Trying to get the visuals and stuff shot. Like I dropped a Dragon Ball Z themed video earlier this year, or no, last year rather. And it's called Do Better. It's on YouTube and all that. So we're just trying to get creative and fun and you know what I mean, step out of the box a little bit, get the visuals up. Trying to get more merch out there. You know, I did the JKJ hoodies and t-shirts and all that. So we're trying to get some of those back out there and really just trying to, you know what I mean, push it, get the grind going. Like it's funny because my biggest fan base has always been outside of here. So like I have a lot of like international like fan bases and in other cities and states that I haven't been to in the US. So like I'm really just trying to figure out the areas I'm hitting the hardest and go and touch the people, you know what I mean? Meet the people, get different stuff going, sit with as many people as I can, just get it to as many ears as possible.
Which is the ultimate goal. And that's why we had you on. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to sit down with us and talk.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. I am Carlo Guadagnino, JKJ, EST91 on all platforms. You can also find Dingo Talk now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. You can get us on Twitter. It's Dingo Talk. Instagram is Dingo_talk. We're on TikTok. It's Dingo Talk. But we're here every Thursday. Jordan, JKJ from Pittsburgh, EST91. This has been Dingo Talk. I am Carlo Guadagnino. You guys have a nice day.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Now